Hey guys, so we are here today to give you a job update and basically talk a little bit more about the CPC and the ongoing challenges that we are having with the DVLA and the government. So I won't bore you for too long, but I will take up some of your time right now and just discuss a few of the topics. So we'll get onto the jobs a little bit later. We have had some interviews, a lot of encouragement, so stick around for that. First thing I want to touch upon is the the ongoing issues with DVLA and the government, the argument with the government. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I am led to believe that yes, well, a fact, government have gone on, sorry, not government, DVLA have gone on strike. And consequently, because of that, licenses, photo licenses, tachograph cards are all having a delay. I don't think tachographs is that much. I think it is literally they're a week behind or 10 days behind, so that's not too bad. That's not really far off normal standard for the DVLA. What I would like to talk about is renewing your photo on your license, which is the category that I fall into. I have done some background checks, a bit of due diligence on the situation, and what I get is what I'm going to pass over to you guys, the information. So first and foremost, I heard and read that there is a ongoing strike with a union that's involved with the DVLA and the government. I'm going to kind of fast track it and sort of tell you how I read it and how it came across to me in my own terms. So this isn't anything binding of law and government, but this is my version expressed and explained my way of what's going on. So I did read that the DVLA had around 500 to 600 cases of COVID over sort of a 3 to 4 month period in 2020, I do believe. And during this period, people from the DVLA, and rightly so, refused to go back to the office. Now, whether that be because the deep clean wasn't enough and the users wanted more, I don't know, but there was an issue with them going back to the office to continue day-to-day running and works in DVLA. Since this, it does come across as if the government have turned around and said something along the lines of, we want you to go back to the office and we want you to go back now. And DVL replied, no. So with this, I did read that the government have said to DVLA, open up, if you're that concerned, open up another building. To which the DVLA replied, if you're paying for it, we would consider it. And then the government turned around and said, no, we're not paying for it, but we want you to do that. So there now appears to be a standoff between the union or DVLA and the government. So the union have stepped in and said they ain't going to work in that office environment because of what happened. We had one fatality, there was a death, and over between 500 to 600 people caught COVID in a 3 month period. They did not feel comfortable to go back to the office. The government then offered the DVLA workers £40 additional per day. They declined, and I think I would as well. That's sort of a kick in the face, really. That's not, it's £200 a week extra to go into work. All right, you're putting your life at risk for £200 a week. Is it worth it? Probably not. So I can sympathise with the DVLA on that matter. However, because of that, we now have a huge backlog of 600,000 applicants on paper alone, where they're trying to play catch up because of this. I also read into this situation. Again, this isn't facts, this is just what I've read or what I've sort of led to believe from reading on the .gov site and also further newspaper columns that we found on the internet, is that pretty much they can't really work from home because the equipment that they would use in the office environment can't be installed into people's homes. Again, something I understand. So therefore, when they're supposed to open around 40,000 letters per day, I read somewhere with figures of only opening around 2,000 letters per day. So you can see the difference. So if them numbers are true, which I suspect we're probably not far from them sort of numbers, if them numbers are true, then just every day alone they're having a backlog of 38,000 letters. That's how far behind they are. And currently they are, as of the 27th of September, they are currently on the 6th of July now for the license applications that I'm on. They've been on that for 10 days. That's where they've been for the last 10 days. They've been on the 6th of July. So I'm hoping sometime this week we see a jump to maybe the middle of July where they've caught up but they've just not updated on the system. Failing that, then it's going to be a very long wait, because I'm predicting by the time I get my license at the going rate, and the going rate would be 1 week at a week's time. So they're getting through a week within a week. That's what I'm looking at. That would be 7 weeks until I'm able to officially say that they've opened my letter. That's not processed it. That's opened the letter. But by them opening the letter, they can put an acknowledgement online, which would then allow me to fast track and apply for my Digitaco, and then go into more job interviews with more confidence of saying, hey, my license has been approved, look at it online, let's move forward, I can get employment. So that's where we're at with the DVLA and the government. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Maybe you can even correct me on some figures, or maybe I've misinterpreted what I've read to you guys now. So it isn't factual as exact, but it's along the lines of something that I believe I've read and I've maybe understood, or in this case maybe misunderstood. We're not too sure. So that's where we're at with the DVLA. It's a little bit disappointing, but however, I do feel that they should try and resolve it as soon as possible. Once again, something I read was there was a potential for resolving the issue around 15 weeks ago, and on the last minute the government pulled the plug and said, no, we're not paying that. Again, it's all around money. Let's look at what's going on in the world, guys. So we've got a worldwide pandemic. The last thing we need, which is now what we've just had as of yesterday, is we are now running out of fuel. Or is it the fact we haven't got enough drivers to provide the lorries to drive the fuel to the gas stations? We don't know. But there is a huge shortage, or a pandemic of madness going on with people panic buying fuel. I myself had about 15 miles worth of fuel in my car. I needed fuel, so I decided to take the plunge. I queued up for 40 minutes to get some fuel. Hopefully I don't need to queue up again for another 2 to 3 weeks. So it would be nice for this to come to a nice end, where we all live happily together and we get our licenses. There must be a solution for the DVLA and the government to say to people like myself and hundreds of thousands of people in this country, those people that have applied for their licenses, we can fast track it, or you can continue, you can work, you can drive without a tachograph. We'll allow it. Just in the same process, they are going to allow visas on a short-term basis over a 3-month period for European drivers to come over to the UK and drive our lorries and use and take our jobs. I have no problem people coming over from the European countries, and working. I have no problem with that. I have quite a lot of friends that are from overseas in Poland. I have no problem with that whatsoever. What I don't want is for the government to pull out all the stops to fast track European drivers when people like myself, who is pretty much dying to start a new job, and I'm unable to because of this stupid scenario we've got going on with the DVLA. So let's hope we can come to a solution very soon with this government and the DVLA. Right, we're going to step away from that now, and we're just going to delve into a little bit of CPC. And when I say delve into it, we're not going to go into deeper. We're just going to glide over the surface of it, really. So I sat my CPC a few weeks ago, and the very first time I did sit a CPC, I don't recall it being what I've just sat. So about 9-10 years ago, I sat a CPC and I had to do a form of test. Maybe it was pre-CPC and I'm getting confused. So I had to sit through about a week's worth of classroom studying, followed by a multiple choice test of around, I think it was maybe 100 questions, something like that, and you had to get a 70% pass. 70% mark was the rate for passing. So I was right the first time I said 70% pass rate. Anyway, I have just done CPC over the last few weeks, and literally I've done it from home. I had to pay a couple of £100, and in that couple of £100 I paid, I had to log on to a computer every day and follow in the classroom. I was expecting a test at the end of Module 1. Module 1 in this scenario was tachographs and driver's hours. So I paid full attention, switching back on, trying to get as much information for the teacher to just turn around and say, right, tomorrow we're going to do module whatever it was, straps and ratchets or whatever. So I turned around and said, oh, do we not get a test in this? And they said, oh, no, we don't do tests. It's just a whole week of 35 hours listening to me talk. Oh my God. Can someone just confirm to me in the comment section below, please? Has CPC always been like that, or was I really at the very beginning when I'd done my 100 questions? Has it really evolved and changed into nothing, really? I mean, people like myself, I hate the word test, I panic, I crumble, I'm not very good at them. But surely the CPC, for what's going to happen in the world right now, could be a little bit more... I just don't think you put through your paces on it at all. Anyone can sit there and listen. I can turn my camera off. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know I'm falling asleep in there when I'm supposed to be learning. So I just feel like in terms of CPC, it needs to be looked at in another format. Right, I think we need to move on from that. I have another interesting thing I want to say. So you've probably heard now that the driving test for the Class 1 is changing. And that being is someone like myself can go and take on a job and apply for a Class 1. And I have a bit of knowledge of driving lorries. I've done a lot of tramping over the years, so I have an understanding. All right, the lorry manoeuvre is different going backwards and forwards. It's not rigid. It's a tractor and a trailer, so there's always going to be a give on a trailer the way the tractor turns. We all know that. But what I find absolutely unbelievable is this government is going to allow us to take on anybody of the age of 18 years and over who has just passed their driving test, whether it be their car driving test, their Class 3, their Class 2, to jump straight into a Class 1 with an easy, well, I say easy, with an easy test. So, again, comments below, correct me if I'm wrong with what I'm about to say, but I'm pretty certain that the government are now going to allow your reverse manoeuvres and your coupling and recoupling of a trailer to be done during your lessons, and your teacher is going to be marking you as to say whether they think you are fit and well enough, not fit, sorry, you have an understanding and well enough of recoupling and coupling a trailer and your reverse park manoeuvre. Well, let's get this straight. They're not going to say you're not very good, are they? Because they want a good pass rate. So I'm a little bit concerned now whereas if I'm an 18-year-old boy, an 18-year-old man that's just passed my car test, I'm then going to say, you know what, I'm going to skip my Class 3 and skip my Class 2. Let's go into Class 1. To me, that's suicide, and that's no disrespect to any youngster of 18 years of age driving a vehicle. It really isn't. I don't mean it to come across like that, but let's be realistic. Someone's going to let you go in front of a steering wheel that pulls 44 ton, I think it is these days, minimum. Are you serious? Government, you need to have a real good look at yourself and think, why would I allow that? Put your child in that situation. Would you allow your child of day one of passing his driving test to be allowed to go and drive a truck, a Class 1, and learn within a week and pass, but not do the correct manoeuvres? So if you're government and you're watching this, comments below. Tell me why you would think and why you could justify that. That's all I'm doing. I'm just having a pick and a rant. I think it's wrong the way we're going with this silly scenarios of fixing small problems that you could resolve pretty quickly with DVLA. So I actually hold a lot of this on the government. I'm not going to say my political stuff because I'm not political at all. I just feel something like the lorries and the passion that I have in this, I think it's wrong and I think it needs to be addressed. However it's addressed, I don't know, but someone needs to address it quickly and get this rolling. It's ridiculous. Save lives. It's suicide putting youngsters behind the steering wheel of a lorry when they have no experience. And also, insurance companies don't really allow you about 2 years' experience. Who's going to take these people on? Are you going to pay the additional insurance that companies would have to pay when yet COVID has corrupted and ruined all these companies? I think you really need to think before you start announcing what you're going to do, government. I really do. Right, I think we should shift on from that and talk now about interviews. Sorry about that. It's bugging me, and I'm hoping a lot of your comments, you might criticise me. I'm open for that. I'm not here for an argument. However, if you agree or disagree, comment section below. Leave me some comments, and in my next video, I will maybe call you out and discuss the issue with you, and then you can have the opportunity to reply, and we can go from there. So let's talk job interviews. So as we know, I'm quitting my job as a telecoms engineer stroke company director, working with my family. If you've missed it, go and check out episode 1 now, and you'll just get a glimpse of what these episodes are going to be about. Right, so I have had some news. I've had 2 job interviews. So, I've had 2 more job interviews, should we say. So I've gone for a specific jobs I've been looking for, and the area I live is in Berkshire. So I've got a wide variety of Surrey, Berkshire itself, a bit of Wiltshire maybe I can look for jobs for. So and also sort of Middlesex, which is basically around the Heathrow Airport sort of area. So I was invited to an interview the other day, and I gladly went along. And straight away I noticed between the gentleman giving me the interview and myself, we had a good sort of bond. We had a lot in common with works. We both actually worked for the same company once upon a time, which was a bit strange because we knew the same people, but we didn't cross paths at all when we both worked there. There was like a year between the two sort of times where I was there and he was there. He was on a class 1, I was there on a class 2. So we have stuff in common, and I thought the interview went really, really well. And the job that they were offering or were proposing is available was a class 2 lorry driver doing the odd night out. When I say the odd night out, it's Monday to Friday. So you start on a Monday morning, you get in your vehicle, you do your work for the week, you go home. It's not like the one I went for the other day. If you look at episode 1 once again, you'll know that I spoke about a job similar. Well, the difference with this one is, so the interview was based in Bicester, and the actual position of the job is based in Surrey. So you go for your interview, bit of a chat, which was good. And then you return back for a second interview and a driving assessment. However, the issue with the assessment is my licence, my tachograph. They're aware of that, so that's good. Really happy with what I heard. Finances were great on the job, and it was car transporting for a very well-known automotive company that works in auctions, car auctions. There we go, we got there. So I'm sure you can figure out these companies yourself. Probably the biggest one in the UK. All went very well. Interview was very, very good. I have been offered a position pending a 1 hour driving assessment and a 1 hour classroom lesson on whatever it is. I do not know. So fairly successful with that interview. Finances were fairly good, very livable. With a lot of room to make more. So for example, I won't go over the salary, but what they offer you is your salary Monday to Friday, a night out allowance every night, which was very generous, I thought. And also on top of that, every vehicle you pick up or collect to certain companies and the certain size of the vehicle, you get paid. So let's say I pick up 7 cars, okay, put them on my wagon, strap them all down, do what you got to do, drop all 7 cars off. For every car I pick up and drop off, I get £1.30. So, you know, that's how you make your money during the week. So the idea is get as many cars on as possible, tip as many as possible, go and recollect. And you just go around the UK doing that. So that was job number 1, which I was very, very happy about. And I am quite keen to want to sort of know more about it and go and do the assessment. However, my license is holding up. So that's job 1. Job 2 is pretty much similar to a job I looked and went and attended the other day. So this one was in the Heathrow Airport area, and the day-to-day running operations of the job was so you turn up for work on a Monday morning at say 8 o'clock. You'll be given a postcode and your vehicle will be loaded. You obviously do your vehicle checks, you check the loading of the vehicle, you check the security of it, the strapping, is it secure, do your curtains up, and it's in a run order. And you might get 15 drops in a postcode for argument's sake in this one, an SL postcode. So that means my lorry will go to the SL postcode and do, I don't know, 12 to 15 deliveries. When I've done that, I would come back, reload, and go again. And the pay on that job was quite good. Can't moan about the job. Not a bad fleet of vehicles looked after. Again, I spoke on episode 1. The fleet of vehicles is like, you know, is what represents the company. So that goes a long way for me. Decent motors, looked after well. So the company seemed quite good. Gaffer was great. I had a real good laugh with the gaffer. Obviously I won't say his name. I probably ain't going to ever watch this video, but if you do, it was great meeting you today. And I kind of walked away from there thinking, this is a good job. I have one reservation on the job. There was not much room for progress. And when I say progress, I'd love to be a class 1 again. Well, again, I'd love to go into class 1 and potentially further down the line, 15, 20 years, certainly transport management or in the office material and helping out with runs and etc. And then maybe being a spare driver on the side. That's what I'm looking at for progress. Maybe throw in the odd ADR down or get my ADR license and maybe go and deliver some of this petrol to some of these stations that are in need of their fuel right now. So that's what I've been looking at. And I feel that I've had 2 good opportunities. And when I walked away from this job interview that I had today, it came with an offer. And the offer was a full-time contract to work for this company, which I'm very grateful for, by the way. It's just the progression. So I need to get my head around the progression. He knows my story of my license. He's fully prepared to wait. And the reason why is because he said he was impressed with my backlog of works that they checked out. So for once they'd actually checked out. And one important thing as well, which means a lot really, was he said he checked me out on Facebook as well. They stalked me on Facebook for 3 days to see if I put anything else on there. They were happy with what was on there. No excessive use of alcohol, certainly no use of drugs, and they were happy with what they saw and wanted me on board. So I came away from that interview feeling very, very confident indeed. I actually don't think I'm going to struggle moving forward for more interviews. I am going to take interviews. I have a few more interviews to go to. I think I've got 3 more. So I'm prepared to listen to everyone before I make a decision. So the one I went into today and the one the other day, the transport job, both in the running. However, I do feel the transport job won't wait around for me to get my license, which could be an issue. So we currently have 3 offers in total, if you watched episode 1, on the table, and I'm quite intrigued to see where it's going to go. So I have applied for a few more. I'll give you a little update on what I've applied for. So I've applied for my there's a linen company in Berkshire that I've applied for. I won't say the name. There is also a huge worldwide company I've applied for, and I feel that would be my most successful route to getting my class one. And not only that, I think it'd be nice to be with a big company that looks after its employees. I'm hoping so. So I'll keep you also updated on that. And there'll be there is one more in there which I probably don't have much interest in, but I think I should go and have the interview because someone's taken the time to provide me with this interview, so I should go and hear it. So I'll keep you updated with that one. I think that's it for now. Just waiting for my DQC card to come through the post, which should be any day soon, and I'll update you with that. So as I say, I've got 3 more interviews in the next 2 days. So I will be posting another video of that once it's happened, an update on my card, which I'll be very interested in to see what the mugshot's going to be like, because I'm pretty certain they're going to use an old mugshot, not the recent one. The old one, believe it or not, for those who don't know me, which I'm guessing is probably all of you, this is the first time I've ever had long hair. I normally have really short hair with a silly line going through it there, but no more. We've gone for the long hair. We've gone for the biker look, so to speak. That's no disrespect to any bikers watching this either. So yeah, that's where we're at, and that's what we're gonna wait for. So can't wait to show you my qualification card, my DQC card. When it comes, for me, it's a big deal because it's 35 hours I've had to sit for, and let's be honest, you're never going to get them 35 hours back. So it's done, it's out of the way. It was a small hurdle, but no more hurdles. I just wish the license was like that. Right, so I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you've enjoyed what you've heard, and certainly be so interested and keen to read your comments on what we've discussed earlier on in this episode. So I'm going to go now and look out for episode 3, which will be coming in a couple of days. Time. So episode 3 will be coming out in a couple of days time. So keep a lookout for that. And hopefully I can give you some updates on some more interviews that I would have had. So I'll see you for episode 3 fairly soon. Ciao for now.